Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi guys.
So, what do we have going on today? Well, we are at the midway point for the month, and the team at Facepunch is doing a ton of new stuff. In fact, a bunch of stuff is on the horizon. We're going to talk about it. Unfortunately, not a ton to show off on this stream because most of the stuff we're talking about has been merged into the aux 2 branch, which is like a version of the staging branch, but the pre-staging staging, if you will. It's like the most bleeding edge stuff. And sometimes it's available to the public and sometimes it's not. Well, all this stuff has been merged into there and it's not, unfortunately, available to the public yet. But we'll share with you what's going on and what we are seeing being worked on the commits. As always, if you have questions, feel free to do at shadow. Oh, Jesus. No, do at Miss D, that's me, in chat. Sorry, still getting used to Shadow changed her name to Miss D. So still the same great person, just different name.
Yes.
But yeah, any questions you have, Miss D, that underscore, that's me in chat. And we'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. Also, real quick, people are probably wondering when's WIP? It's Thursday. What's going on with the server wipes? Well, the Rustafied servers are wiping our weekly and bi weekly Thursday wipe servers at the regular scheduled time. And that means that AU, SEA, and EU have already wiped. EU most recently 2 hours ago. And I'm a little confused today because we got daylight savings time in the US happened at the beginning of the week, but it hasn't happened for the rest of the world. I don't know what the hell they're thinking with this stuff, but we do have the US wipes happening in 2 hours at 3 p.m. Eastern. And once again, this is the Thursday weekly and bi weekly wipe servers. So that's your mains, mediums, trios, small, Baron, Zen Labs, and the like. These are map wipes only because we are mid month, no blueprint wipe. Also, a real quick note on the bi weekly wipe schedule for this month. If you look at a calendar, you'll see there are actually 5 Thursdays this month. And what we do when there's 5 Thursdays is actually wipe the bi-weeklies 3 times. So in 2 weeks, they will wipe again and then have a 1 week wipe cycle until the update. So just take note of that. So let's get into what is going on in Rust development. Well, as I mentioned, a bunch of things have been merged into the aux 2 branch. Now, this is once again the bleeding edge of staging and where they at Facepunch can internally kind of test some things before releasing it to the world at large for testing. So on that branch, we saw the nuclear missile silo get merged in. And this is, of course, the newest monument to Grace Rust. It is, from the looks of the commits, a underground, well, nuclear missile silo. It's going to have radiation loot and NPCs based on what we're seeing. Probably going to be a pretty large monument as well. I don't know what tier monument it's going to be, if it's going to have really good loot or just lower level loot. I feel like it's going to be in the middle somewhere, but maybe we'll have more high loot as well. But we'll see. It is on the aux 2 branch. I did ask Alistair if the aux 2 branch is going to be made available for people to test. And he said not anytime immediately soon, because there's a lot with this nuclear missile silo in particular and the integration with the map that needs to be worked on. Keep in mind that these monuments are hand built from scratch and it takes several months to build them. And then once they build them, they have to actually have to work them into the procedural map generation as well. And I can imagine also if the monument is mostly underground, then there's extra things to keep in mind there to not interfere with like caves or the underground tunnels or anything like that. So still a work in progress. Not sure when this will be available for public testing. I got my fingers crossed it's going to be in the next week or so, and they're shooting to get this stuff out for the April 6th update and for Swipe. But that remains to be seen. It's kind of up in the air. But let's move on. The other thing on aux 2 is double saddles. And this is an obvious one. This is just one horse, two people. It's a saddle that will allow two people to mount one horse, and that's it. It's going to be available for purchase, it looks like, just like the other saddles. And that's going to be two saddles. No word on if it's going to have the horse like go slower or uh, lose stamina quicker, or if there's going to be more storage or less storage or what. But we will let you know the details on all these double saddles once Ox 2 is made available for the public. Also, on the Ox 2 branch, some big improvements to the in game map stuff. And this we saw on a separate branch the other week and then has kind of worked its way into the Ox 2. So it looks like it is readily going to be available for testing. But basically, what this stuff is your in game map. They're adding the ability to add multiple labels and multiple markers, and then actually label the markers like in text, and then share that with your team from the looks of it. That's what we're seeing. And the other thing that you're going to be able to do is on the fly ping teammates as well. It looks like that's going to be like what if you're pointing somewhere in the game and you center click on the mouse, that'll create like a ping on the map that will be available on people's compasses as well. And so you can kind of on the fly, you'll be able to point out points of interest. And this includes you can ping corpses and bags from the looks of it. So if you see some dead body on the ground or something and you want your teammate to loot them, you'll be able to like point at it, center click, and it'll highlight that for your teammates and they'll be able to find it and go loot it. So that's pretty cool. We're still seeing some more commits around this in game map improvement stuff, but it does look like it's tied up with the double saddles and nuclear missile silo body of work. So if we do see those things go live for the April update, then we'll see in game map improvements as well. Now, another thing we have, and this is actually not on the Aux2 branch, but is still on staging on a separate branch, and that is the attack helicopter. So this is going to be the newest upcoming vehicle in the game. It looks like from the commits, it's going to be a Big Brother type of thing of the minicopter, and instead of wheels, it's going to have skis. And of course, more important than that, it's going to be able to attack people with, from the looks of it, a rocket launcher and a gun. So not 100% finalized on all this stuff yet. We're just operating on commits, and it is still a little up in the air. But it does look like there'll be a pilot to this attack helicopter, and then there'll be a gunner. And this week specifically, we're seeing work on the gunner UI. So it's going to be kind of like a computer terminal that the gunner logs into. And I get the sense it's almost going to be like the whatever the weapon on this attack helicopter is going to be maybe like gimbaled or something, and the gunner will be able to move it around in that UI, track the zoom and ammo counts, and of course point and fire the weapon. So once again, it looks like there's definitely rockets on there, maybe also a gun of some sorts, but not confirmed. And we don't know exactly what damage this is going to do, how you're going to get this mini copter or this attack helicopter. A lot of all the nitty gritty specifics are still up in the air pending it get merged into staging for proper testing. So we're keeping a close eye on that one. It does look like it's making some good progress. It has been a number of weeks in development. So I think there's a good chance we'll see this attack helicopter going into some form of testing in the near future. So we'll keep you posted. Also, what we got going on this week in the background of things on the server hosting end is multi threaded networking. You may have noticed a couple client updates. They're optional this week, but what they were doing, they were optional client and server updates that actually by default turned on multi threaded networking. If you're not aware, multi-threaded networking is basically the networking that the game uses to track all the players on a server and make sure they're all synced up with actions and what they're doing. So it's that the real underlying basics fundamental of the networking of the game. And previously it's all operated on one CPU core or one thread. And that's not very performant. So what this multi-threaded networking is basically allowing splitting the networking process of the server running onto and allow it to use multiple cores of the CPU or multiple threads. And ideally, what this does over time is provides more performance for the servers, and ideally also allows us to increase slots on our servers and have better performance for longer on the wipes. That is the goal. However, it's a work in progress, and we've seen some issues with CPU usage going too high. We've seen other performance issues as well with the multi-threaded networking, and the team at Facepunch is being great about fixing those issues as they show up and releasing patches and everything like that. So the long and short is we're looking to switch over our entirety of our servers to multi-threaded networking once it appears really solid. We are testing it on a couple servers just to help give feedback and everything like that. But in due time, and in the next couple of weeks, probably this will be rolled out across the board on all servers. And ideally, it'll have better performance across the board and will allow us to more reliably and consistently up the slots on our servers, because that is a very common request on wipe days. And if you're not aware, we hesitate to do that because we don't want to up the slots like crazy one day and then have to lower them crazy the next day because performance is going to go to crap if we keep 800 people on the server for multiple days. And I know a lot of servers do like to inflate their pop on day one right after wipe, and then it'll go up to like 800, and then a day or two later it's down to 200 or 250. I don't like that experience. I think that's inconsistent experience for gameplay. And so we don't do that here at Rustafied. We might up the slots a little bit, but then we don't drastically lower after wipes. And my goal with the multi-threaded networking and performance is in due time, we'll be able to up the slots on our servers and keep them up throughout the duration of the wipe. So that's the goal. It's still a work in process. So we'll keep you up to date on how that multi-threaded networking is going over the coming weeks. Also, there's a new cool quality of life thing coming in. It is also, as with all this stuff, a work in progress and is subject to change. In fact, we saw a core change to it already this morning. But what it is auto wear clothing. So this is a feature that will allow you to hold the Alt Look key while right clicking or hover looting from a loot container. And if you do that, then it'll have you wear the clothing items immediately. So it's a way to clothe yourself when you're looting a box, basically, just by holding Alt Look. And the extra benefit of that as well is if you're holding the Alt Look key and right click or hover loot from the main inventory or clothing inventory, um, and you have like another box open, it'll behave as if there's no loot container open. I hope that makes sense. It's a little freaking confusing, honestly, but it's like if you've got a box open and you've got your inventory open and you are holding Alt Look and you right click on a clothing item, it won't go into the box, it'll go onto your clothing, if that makes sense. Uh, if there's available clothing to be worn. God, the more I talk about this, the more confusing I feel it gets. It's auto wear clothing. Once it gets in the game, we'll just show you what it is. You hold Alt Look, and it improves your quality of life, probably, maybe.
I
Uh,
think it makes sense what you said.
does it? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm
at
like
least for me
confusing
when I'm
myself
not
over here.
English. Yeah, I understand it.
Okay, thank you for that feedback because I'm starting to question myself over here.
Don't do that. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I should never do that. Also, moving on, we have gameplay metrics. And this is something I know I sounded really excited when I said it. It's really not going to do shit for you as a player. It's background stuff, tracking a bunch of different things like keycard swipes and hackable crates and violations and server tags and items that people drop and items people despawn. It's all this back end metrics basically that ideally will help the developers get a broader view on what people are doing in game and what they're not doing in game, and then have that information be of value so that they can shift the balance in the game appropriately. That's my sense of what they're doing all this gameplay metrics for. The other thing as a server owner, I'm kind of excited about and looking at is how we can use these metrics to provide interesting information to our players as well. And also, if you're not aware, we're working on a player stats system as well. And hopefully, we'll have it in the next several months. There'll be a free version available for any player in our servers, and it'll just track stats like kills to death and accuracy and headshot percentage and all that stuff. And then we plan on really doing some more advanced stuff for our VIP members as well. But that's something that's in progress. And maybe we can work some of these gameplay metrics into that as well. But we did see this gameplay metric stuff get merged into staging this week. So as of the April 6th update, it'll be running on all servers and just tracking a lot more information and ideally providing valuable information to the devs. There's also a number of other things being worked on. Specifically, if you're friends with someone and they've got a nickname on Steam, you've given them a nickname on Steam, that nickname will now show on the team UI and name tags instead of their actual Steam name. There's some work on new world models like shotgun shells and stuff like that. So instead of when you drop them, it just looks like a burlap sack. We'll have some more actual world models in the near future. Um, there's some other things going on with the one thing that we can show off, and it's really probably like the most boring thing in the world, but it's on the computer terminal. If you got multiple things selected, you can use your arrow keys or mouse wheel to scroll between them now. And also, you have to hold space to dismount on the computer instead of accidentally, if you tap space, you dismount immediately. But it's just like an easier way to get through the computer UI. And also, you can see they fixed just the other week the computer UI rendering scale and everything now is better as well. So they're just fixing some things up with the computer UI, really. They also fixed TC showing open as default option when in building priv, but not authorized. They prevent turret from opening inventory until auth on turret, a little fix with that. They're adding some support for high res custom screenshots with custom widths. So more screenshot stuff. If you recall last week, they were working on some transparent screenshot stuff too. They fixed some things with regards to that as well. And that's some back end content creator kind of stuff. Probably doesn't really impact you as a player very much. But that about does it for what's going on in Rust development. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Not a lot, but we can start with when is whip.
Well, WIP is at regular scheduled time for the region. That's 3 p.m. local time for any region you're in. And that means AU and SEA wiped like 11, 12 hours ago. EU wiped 2 hours and 17 minutes ago. And US wipes in like an hour and a half at 3 p.m. Eastern. And these are map wipes only. It is the Thursday weekly and bi weekly wipe servers wiping today. So that's your mains, your mediums, trios, smalls, barons, Zen Labs, and the like.
Thank you, Bugs. Would that be the leader only or team or every team member gets to share now?
Are we talking about the map
The map,
improvements?
I would assume. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the
Yes.
in-game map. I'm not really sure if it's going to be leader only stuff or everyone on the team is going to be able to mark stuff up. I kind of feel like everyone on the team is going to be able to ping people. I'm not sure about marking the labels or if everyone will be able to do it and maybe the leader will be able to edit all of it. That would be kind of cool, maybe. But we're working off based just what we see on the commits at the moment because it's still not merged into anything. It's merged into aux 2, but we don't have access to aux 2. So not sure about the nitty-gritty details, but it does look like players and teams and groups on the team UI will be able to share map markers, be able to label them with text, and be able to create pings on the fly for points of interest like a body or a bag or things like that.
Are you going to be able to highlight stuff from the drone?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. That would be interesting if you could ping a point of interest from the drone.
Definitely. Um, will we hold on. Will we get to see the new monument today?
Unfortunately not. I was really hoping they were going to give some access to aux 2 so that we could get on and show you off the new monument and as well as the in-game map improvements and the double saddles. But those are still all locked up on aux 2, not available to the public at large. I did ask Alistair if they were planning on like opening up this week, and he said no because they're still working on some map integration issues with the new monument with the nuclear missile silo. And so I'm thinking hopefully next week we'll be able to show off all this stuff. I do get the strong sense, and I didn't confirm this from the dev, so I could be totally wrong, once again, we're not devs. We're just fans of the game like you who love reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. But I do get the sense that they are, because they merge not only the nuclear missile silo, but also double saddles and in game map improvements, because they merge them all to Ox 2. That tells me that they're shooting to take that Ox 2 stuff and have that be the content that's released in the April 6th update. If they were going to wait an extra month for, say, the nuclear missile silo, I would imagine double saddles and in-game map improvements, which are arguably easier and smaller projects, right, to get to production. They would have probably put those on normal staging or Ox 1. But because they put them all to Ox 2 with the nuclear missile silo, I kind of feel like they're shooting to get that nuke missile silo, double saddles, and in-game map improvements all out for the April 6th update. And if we're really lucky, we could see the attack helicopter along with that as well, although that's still not on Ox 2. So up in the air. But that's my sense of it. Once again, could be totally wrong, but I am intending and hoping that either next week or the following on our update preview stream, we'll be able to show off the new monument, these double saddles, and these awesome improvements to the in game maps.
I think, well, not think, I hope they will add the TC auth where you can add teammates to it, like you authorize on turrets and
Yeah, that would
stuff.
make sense, right?
Yeah, I hope they will
It'd be great quality life for sure.
definitely. We don't have a whole lot of questions, so maybe do a recap, and if people have questions, do at Miss T underscore that's me, and we do some questions after Bucks do the recap.
Yeah, it might be a really short one today because, once again, there's a couple things to talk about, but nothing to really show off here on the staging branches. All of the goodies are on Aux 2, which is unavailable to us. But I will give a brief recapity cap. And also, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to do at Miss D underscore that's me in chat. We'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. So, what do we got? Well, big stuff is on the horizon. As a little recap here, we've got a bunch of new functionality hitting the Aux 2 branch this week. Not available for public testing yet, but in the past, what we have seen is as Aux 2 gets ready for testing, they'll either move all that stuff to Aux 1 for everyone to test, or they'll just open Aux 2 up for everyone to join. So we'll keep you posted on that. As it stands, Aux 2 is still closed off to everyone, but on there we do find the newest monument, the nuclear missile silo. Based on commits, this looks like it's going to be a large underground, mostly base monument thing that will have loot and rads and NPCs. Not sure how high tier of a monument this will be, if it'll be top tier with the best of the best loot or somewhere in the middle. I feel like probably somewhere in the middle, but I could be wrong. But nuclear missile silo, I imagine there's going to be radiation because we got them nukes there. But also, that's on Aux 2. We'll keep you posted on that. There's also on Aux 2 double saddles. And this is for you and your best friend to get your broke back on in the near future because you both will be able to mount one horse simultaneously. Probably available for purchase at the ranches and stuff like that, just like normal saddles. But two people will fit on it. That'll be cool. And also, we got some cool in game map improvements, quality of life, and new features for in game maps where players and groups in the team UI will be able to create markers on the map, multiple markers, and label them with text. Those markers will show up to the whole team and also show up on the compass for the whole team. And furthermore, there is this new pinging feature they're working on where, like, you center click when you're looking at something and it'll create a ping, a point of interest on the map for your group. It looks like on the commits, you can currently ping corpses and bags specifically. Looks like maybe that'll build out a little bit more, but we'll keep you posted on that as Aux 2 becomes available for testing. But some cool stuff for groups and teams in the map UI coming. Also, the attack helicopter is being worked on, not on Aux 2, but still on a separate branch and not available for testing. It is the attack helicopter, the big brother to the minicopter. It will have skis instead of wheels, and it will shoot shit. It looks like rockets at the very least, but maybe guns as well. And there's going to be a pilot, as you would imagine, to fly the thing. And then there's a gunner, and that gunner will work a computer of sorts and have a camera view with some zooms and an overlay on the ammo that's left. And of course, from that view, be able to point and fire. So we're keeping a close eye on that one. As it gets merged in, we'll of course have all the information you need to know about that attack helicopter. Also, we have multi-threaded networking being worked on. This is something on the server backend, something that you as a player really don't need to worry about, but we as server owners are worried about. No, it's it's not that bad, thankfully. But basically, they're changing how the networking works. The goal long term is to have better performance, be able to have more people in servers, and servers run longer with more performance, right? And it's doing this by having the networking of the game be processed not just on one CPU core, but on multiple cores. Hence the multi-threaded part of that networking thing. But it is on by default after a optional client and server patch this week. We tested out a bit, had some lag issues, had some CPU issues. Pardon, especially on US odd, if you had lag after the US odd wipe this week. Sorry about that, guys. We were testing out this multi-threaded networking. There has since been a update that improves the CPU usage, and so we're testing that on a couple of our servers now. And as it proves to be really performant and good and solid, we will roll it across our entire infrastructure. But that's multi-threaded networking. And ideally, as performance gets better, we can up the slots in our servers a little bit because that is very often a request on wipe days. So we hear you and we'll be doing that. Oh, another thing that I'll share with you, because this was also a request, is people are saying our maps are too big. And fair enough, we were running and are currently running 4.5 or 4.25K maps, and what we're going to be doing as of the odd wipes on Monday is any server that is currently 4.5K or 4.25K on Rustafied will on next wipe be 4K. So we're moving everything down to 4K. That's your mains, mediums, trios, odds, and the like. Any servers like Odd Junior or Small or Zen Labs that already have a small map aren't going to change, but we are changing to 4K across the board to have a little more PvP action, a little more excitement in the servers. And so just keep that in mind, starting with this coming Monday, not the wipes today. Those are still on the normal size maps because by the time I made this decision, we had already had the map loading live, but we will be having 4K maps in the near future. Also, moving on, quality of life thing, auto wearing of clothing. It's basically going to allow you to hold the Alt Look key while right clicking or hover looting in a container, and that'll just put the clothes, if it's a clothing object and you've got the clothing slots available, it'll just put the clothing on you instead of moving it from, inventory to box or vice versa. Also, we have gameplay metrics that was merged into staging, and it's basically just tracking a ton of stuff in the background. Not really going to impact you as a player, but should help the devs get a broader sense and better transparency into what the meta of the game is, what people are using, what people aren't using, and be able to then balance things a little more according to what's actually happening instead of just guessing, what's happening. So they're tracking things like keycard swipes, hackable crates, violations, server tags, dropped items, despawned items, and like a million other things too. They're tracking a whole bunch of stuff. It's saving in a separate database and using a separate thread for CPU so it doesn't impact performance. So good stuff. And it may come in handy for the stats system we're building for players as well, because in the near future, we will have player stats for all the players on our servers. We'll have leaderboards and kill to death ratio and headshot percentage and accuracy and a profile for each person and split up between wipes and servers. It's going to be cool. I'm really excited about building it out. So it's coming along. So stay tuned for that too. Also, there's a bunch of other stuff being worked on as usual. If you've got a friend with a Steam nickname, then now the Team UI and name tags will show the Steam nickname instead of their actual Steam name. There's some more work on some new world models like shotgun shells and stuff like that. So stuff won't look like burlap bags when you drop it on the ground. There's the computer station improvements, so you can use mouse wheel, scroll, or the arrow buttons to move between things on a computer station. That's one of like the only things on actual staging as of today. So hot damn, we can show it off. Look at this. Yeah. Although it's one of those things they're showing off that really doesn't matter because you can't see Artemis like clicking her keyboard or scrolling around. But hot damn, look at that computer
This is entirely
station.
arrow keys or mouse wheel, so
Wow. Um, I'm just
mind
blown
blowing,
away.
right?
Yeah, yeah, really blown away. Thank you, Artemis, for that tremendous presentation. But we got that going on. We've got prevent opening turret inventory until auth on turret. Some little fixes like that. Some they're working on this anti-aliasing settings to improve things. They're also working on like high res screenshots with custom widths, some content creator stuff, and they've got like this transparency screenshot thing they're working on, which we've seen mixed results with. But it looks like they're just doing some extra little uh, like tools for content creators as well is another thing they're working on. But that about does it for the recapity cap. And yeah, D, we got any questions from the audience?
Let me check here. Yeah, you just covered the thing with the map size, so I'm gonna skip that one. When will they add a new type of enemy to the game? For example, radioactive animals.
Yeah, good old rat animals from back in the legacy days, man. I don't know. I don't know when they'll add. It's funny that you mentioned that now. I haven't thought about rat animals in forever, but I started getting these flashes in my head of the old concept art when we switched from legacy to experimental, and now it's just the normal version of the game. And this was like what 7, 8 years ago. Uh, there used to be in legacy, and then they were removed even in legacy. There were these red rat animals, and they would have like slightly better loot, and they would be a little harder to kill. And then there was this concept art years ago about these really funky looking like tumor ridden rat animals that they were potentially going to bring in. But I'd say that's far deep in the dredges of concept limbo at this point. So I don't know if they are going to bring anything in. When I think about animals bringing into the game or adversaries to bring into the game, the first thing I think of, and this won't be adversaries for most people, but the pets. They've been working on that for a while, and based on commits, there's going to be several types of dogs that you can actually tame with a taming collar. And it looks like you'll find them in the wild or purchase them at I don't know, a pound maybe. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. But then you'll be able to have those pets follow you around or defend you or point and have them go somewhere. So that's a thing that I know is coming in the near future with regards to potentially other uh, people, things in the game. As far as other adversarial animals or NPCs, I'm not really sure.
Let me see, next one. Are we getting the new ocean waves in the new update?
I don't know. We've seen some commits here and there about that, but so far we're not seeing it. So I don't know. We've seen a bunch of different iterations of the ocean waves and everything, but I'm really not sure when this next newest iteration is coming.
Wasn't there someone talking about in the past with you should be able to paint your walls and stuff? You think they gotta add that?
Yeah, I think eventually they will, although I wouldn't hold my breath on having them do it anytime soon. And I say that just based on it had to be about 4+ years ago. We had Helk actually join us on one of these update preview streams. And he was asked about, hey, is this or this item going to be skinnable? And what Helk said back in the day was ideally he wants everything to be skinnable eventually, including base parts. So I think it would be really cool to have different skins for cars, mini copter skins, and especially base skins as well. Like be able to paint your walls, be able to have different. I'm picturing like those funky colored houses in Jamaica or whatever, or the Grenadines, wherever that is. They got the pastel colored houses. Uh, could be cool. So I think that probably will come at some point, maybe just based on what Helk said in the past. But also that was years ago. It could have changed, and we haven't seen it yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, someone was just asking about a bed skin. So yeah, that was your question. Your answer, I guess it's called for that. Can you please fix invalid damage?
Well, I can't because I am not a developer of the game. I'm just a fan of the game like you. And actually, I'll take this opportunity to thank you all for tuning in and for people who give us bits or subscribe on Twitch. And to our beautiful, wonderful, loyal VIP customers, thank you all so much because we are just an independent organization. We're not on the Face Punch payroll. We're not developers of the game. Nothing like that. We're just fans of the game like you who love reporting on development news and running the best servers that we possibly can. And literally, the only way that we can do this week after week and keep these servers running and keep reporting on news is because of the support from the community. So thank you all so much for that support. And but I'm sorry about that invalid damage thing. Yeah, that sucks. That's a really unfortunate thing, and it's been in the game for a while. They have done some fixes to make it better here and there, but it's still. And then they introduce new things like drones, and then it's a problem, same problem, new like way. But yeah, hopefully that will be fixed at some point. And maybe with the multi-threaded networking, I don't know. Maybe it will be better after multi-threaded networking. I don't know.
When do you think the next Twitch drop will be?
That's a good question. There's been no sign of it. I feel like next month. I feel like probably in April we'll see it just because they were saying they were shooting to do it bi-monthly, like every other month. And it's been a little while. It's been since the Trust and Rust stuff earlier in the year. So I feel like April, but I haven't seen anything officially announced around Twitch drops.
Any plans on double seat snowmobile and adding storage to them? Well, if you have the big version, you can, because you can sit two on it and there is storage.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Light on the mini would be great. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
A light you could attach the mini,
Yeah.
have a little spotlight action going for sure.
Add a flashlight. Any info on clans and cluster servers?
Yeah, that's that old Nexus body of work. That's the clan system, which is like the team system on crack, and the server to server transfer via the boats and the, I believe, ferry terminal. So when you see in the commits them working on the ferry terminal, I do think that is that Nexus body of work. And what that's going to be is servers will share blueprints and wipe schedules. So they'll cloud sync the blueprints and they'll wipe maps and blueprints at the same exact time, and then it'll allow groups to hop on a boat with their gear and go out to a ferry terminal and then literally go from one server to another without quitting the game and rejoining and actually bring their stuff from one server to another. So once again, that's labeled in the projects as Nexus for some reason. I don't know why it's called Nexus. I'm sure there's a reason, but tied in with that is the clan system and the server to server transfer stuff. We haven't seen much on that, like forward progress wise, in the past couple of weeks. It is still being worked on in the background, I believe. And the plan last I heard with that was they were going to launch it on a couple FacePunch official servers to start and to test. Once it is available for wider use, I do plan on playing with adding it to like our Medium 1 and Medium 2 EU and US servers. I don't want to I don't want to cross link different region servers because then pings will get screwy. But like US Medium 1 and Medium 2 could be linked up. Medium 3, probably not because that's no blueprint wipe only. But and also we have long 1, 2, and 3. We could potentially link all those up, in each region. So we'll play with it, but also if people hate it, we won't do it. But I think it could be a cool thing. And no idea when it's coming, by the way. I know that was more of the question. Any update on when it's coming? No friggin' clue.
Mm, I think this person came in late because he's asking, he or she, I don't know, anything in the works for teammate pings visible to all, maybe different colors?
Yeah, well, there's the map, in-game map improvements being worked on. And part of that is having groups be able to create multiple markers on the map and actually label them with text and have those labels show up on the compass. But then another piece of that is this new ping system, which will allow people to center click when they're pointing at something, and it'll create like a ping for their group to see. So that's all on Aux 2, not available for testing yet. But we do hope in the next week or so, Aux 2 will open up to everyone else or they'll merge it into normal staging. And I'm thinking that for the April 6th update, we're probably going to see the nuclear missile silo, double saddles, in game map improvements. So, like this, what we're talking about, maybe even the attack helicopter. So, we'll keep you posted.
Is there anything being done about cheaters and hackers?
Oh man, we are doing a lot about that. We've got a bunch of new moderators coming on. We onboarded some people last month, and we've got like around 10 new people we're onboarding this coming week. And really excited about the group of people we have coming in. But on top of just bringing more bodies in to handle the hackers, we have been working with a new third party anti cheat system for a couple months now. And just yesterday, actually, we were able to turn a functionality on that's really catching people a lot quicker and really a lot more information for us to catch hackers before they even screw up the server. So we've been doing a lot. And me personally, if you've looked in Discord, I've been like a Discord maniac the past couple weeks, months now, because at the beginning of the year, I saw Facepunch say, you know, we banned 800, over 800,000 accounts last year. Oh, and there's 2 million individuals going through the official servers. I actually canceled other projects in my life and decided to just for several months and pretty much probably this year, just focus on Rustified, just focus on moderating our servers and taking care of customer support and player complaints. So, just me personally, I'm also full time back on this as well to help the situation because the hacker situation is out of control. It's crazy and it can ruin days and days of gameplay in just a moment. So it's worse than hacking in other games in a lot of ways. But know that we are doing a lot and we have improved a lot, and we've got more things on the horizon to improve what we're doing at Rustified servers in particular with regards to hackers. And if you run into a hacker in a Rustified server, please do note you can use slash report in in-game chat or go into our Discord and use slash report to report them. That pings our moderation team, and then that will get them on there spectating and taking action.
Yes, thank you, Bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a new AK recoil?
No, not yet. No new AK recoil, but thank you so much for asking.
Haven't had that for a while. So can you repeat again when the time, blah, what time does the Rustafied servers wipe?
So the servers wipe at the regular scheduled time, which is 3 p.m. local time for the region. And that means AUSEA wiped like 11, 12 hours ago. EU wiped 2 hours and 42 minutes ago, 242 ago. US wipes in an hour and 18 minutes at 3 p.m. Eastern. These are map wipes only today, as the blueprints wipe at the beginning of the month, unless you're talking medium 3 servers, and then we don't wipe blueprints unless forced. But map wipes only, and it is the weekly and bi weekly Thursday wipe servers. So mains, mediums, trios, smalls, barons, Zen Labs, and the like. And also, one thing with wipes this month, especially with the bi-weeklies, your mediums and your trios, we do have 5 Thursdays this month. And so given that, we've got a wipe today for the bi-weeklies. And then in 2 weeks, we'll wipe again. And then there'll be just a 1 week wipe until the forced wipe and update. So just keep that in mind. That's what we do on months where there are 5 Thursdays.
I don't think there's more questions.
Cool. Well, I think we will wind it down there a little early as there's not much to show off. There's really nothing to show off, but hopefully next week there will be more to show off. I'm intending that Aux 2 get opened up for everyone to see, and then we can be back here same time, same place next week, showing you the nuclear missile silo, showing you some double saddle action, showing you these in-game map improvements, and maybe even the new attack helicopter. So as always, we'll be back same time, same place next week, 1 p.m. Eastern on Twitch every Thursday with your update preview stream, or if it's first Thursday, your update stream. Also, as always, rustified.com every Thursday, first thing Eastern time, midnight, we put an article live which summarizes everything going on in development in text and pictures. We've been being more active on Twitter and creating some content. So as these new attack helicopter, double saddles, nuclear missile silo get in, we're going to be doing some shorts to show it off. So do check us out on Twitter and YouTube. And also check out our Discord. Come in and say hi. I've been like active like a maniac on there And it's a time in Discord. So rustified.com/Discord. And in there also you can report players, you can vote on maps for upcoming wipes, and you can see the current map for the servers you're playing on and get answers to all sorts of other questions as well. You can also look for group in there. It's good stuff. So check out our Discord. And with that, we're going to wind this puppy down. Miss
1 second.
D. Oh, we got a question.
Yeah, because I thought it
All
was a
right,
good
let's do
one.
it.
Yeah. Uh, which Rustafied servers don't wipe BPs on force wipe? Isn't that
That
medium 3?
That is, yeah, US and EU medium threes are the only ones that don't wipe blueprints on Force Wipe. Every other Rustified server wipes blueprints on the first Thursday of every month, and that's to keep gameplay fresh and all that good stuff. But if you want no BP wipes, medium three is your place.
Thank you.
All right,
Over and
wonderful.
out.
Well, Miss D and Artemis, thank you guys both, as always, for joining me as my co MCs.
Yeah, welcome as always, Bugs.
Yep, you may welcome.
And with that, we're going to wind this puppy down. A huge thank you once again for everyone tuning in. Thank you for the support. Much love to you all. And with that, we'll be back next week, same time, same place, 1 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.